Catching up with Ohio State coach Ryan Day and defensive coordinator Jim Knowles at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center here on Tuesday. I'm Nathan Baird from cleveland.com along with Stephen Means and Andrew Gillis. The first question that Ryan Day received today was obviously going to be about the ongoing NCAA investigation into Michigan and the potential alleged in-person scouting that led to in an effort to steal signs. And Ryan Day very quickly shut it down. He's like, I'm not talking about any of that. And people tried to kind of backdoor some other questions about things related to that. But Ryan Day clearly was not going to wade into the scrutiny that, in particular, his biggest rival is under. Steven, should he have poked the bear a little bit more and kind of twisted things for Michigan when he had the chance in some kind of sly, clever, backhanded kind of way?
My favorite thing about it was Dave Biddle was the one who asked the question first, and he goes, he can have another question. That's just like, he has to ask that, so that's not a real thing. No, I think he should handle it like this for right now and let things play out. And then let loose after you handle your business next month, if you handle your business. That's when you do it, because as of right now, Ohio State has still lost back-to-back games to Michigan in pretty emphatic form. Now, as more information comes out, we can all come to our own conclusions, but until anything is proven fact, the fact is Ohio State's lost the last two games to Michigan, and they lost them on the field until proven otherwise. So I'm pretty sure everybody in this building, we're standing on the indoor right now, everybody in this building is on pause with anything that has to do with Michigan and anything they may want to say about this issue or any other social thing that has happened over the next 2 years until they get up to Ann Arbor and if they handle their business. So I think they're handling it the right way for right now. Let the rest of us talk about it.
We will. Andrew, you seem like a guy who enjoys a good rivalry spat. This is your first year inside the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. Do you wish Ryan Day had taken the bait today?
Well, if you're asking me as a journalist, yes. I wanted him to get up there and be like, I don't know, can't see what's going on at Michigan from third base. I wish he said something like that. Obviously, that would have been great for us. If I was Ryan Day, I would have done exactly what he did, and I would have said nothing, because I agree with Steven. If you beat Michigan, then it's time to just go nuts. Then it's time to have your fun, and then you can say what you want. You've earned that right, but you also have lost to Michigan twice. And I understand the whole, hey, look, they might have known their signs, and they did this and they did that. Well, Ohio State, nothing Michigan was doing in some of those games. Like, Ohio State doesn't have a defense that just allows a defender to fall down or somebody not to be covered within 30 yards down the field. Or they don't have a defense that says, hey, guys, let's not tackle Donovan Edwards today or Blake Corum today in the second half. Like, there are certain things that Michigan did that are repeatable. Whether or not you think that the sign stealing had a major impact, a little impact, no impact, whatever, there are things that Michigan did that are repeatable and that are really difficult to defend, and you've got to keep that in mind. So you don't want to give Michigan any ammunition going into that game, because right now the guns of college football are pointed at Michigan, right? Everybody's pointing at Michigan saying these guys cheated, they're cheaters, they're lying. Everybody wants to do all of that, and that's going to be the story for the next couple of weeks leading into this game. You do not want to have them give that ability to pivot and turn and say, it's Michigan against the world. You don't want to give them any kind of anything to say their coach is calling us out. You don't want any of that. You don't want to do what Lou Holtz did a few weeks ago, where I know it was a retired coach in a little bit different circumstances. Ohio State used that, even though guys on the team weren't alive when Lou Holtz was coaching at Notre Dame. They were able to use that a little bit. You don't want to do that. So for now, keep your yap shut, keep everything quiet, and then if you beat Michigan, have your fun, go nuts.
This is the last he'll probably say about it for about 3 weeks, but this is going to come up again heading into November 25th. And we don't know what else is going to come out in this regard between now and then. And this could still be kind of nothing. They could still, I guess, find proof that says that this was nothing. Even if they had proof today that it was something, I think I agree with both of you that Ryan Day probably should have kept his trap shut on that, because I think, as Steven pointed out, when you lose two in a row to your rival, you kind of lose your jabbering privileges. Like, you have to go win those back, and if you start talking too much before you've actually done it on the field, I think you're putting yourself in a bad situation. So this is going to come up again on November 21st or whatever heading into that game, when we talk to Ryan Day going into that week, for sure, it's going to come up in the post-game press conference either way probably. And I think if Ohio State wins that game, I think then you're going to see maybe an interesting side of Ryan Day, because he's been on the other side of that where people have run their mouths. And I think he is probably secretly waiting for his opportunity to do it, but he knows he can't do it unless they win. We're going to talk a lot more about this and the whole sign-stealing situation on Buckeye Talk, so get that wherever you can find podcasts, and get the text 614-350-3315 as soon as Ryan Day and Jim Knowles were talking today. And by the way, Jim Knowles was told he could not say anything about this, so it's radio silence around here on sign stealing. As soon as they were saying it, we were texting it to you from cleveland.com.